Alright guys, welcome back. This is the GSL August Code S round of 16. We've seen 3 pretty awesome matches so far today, and we're about to move into our 4th and final match. I'm Doa, with me as Wolf, of course, as you can see. And we've got HongUn Prime versus Startail July. Should be pretty cool.
Now, HongUn's a player who's done consistently well at the GSL.
Yeah, he really has.
He's actually made it really far every season. He's a round of 4 guy. I always joke with people and say he's like the Protoss Nada, because like he never gets like that championship title or like the top. You know, he's never a finalist, but he always makes it like the round of 8, round of 4. He always makes it pretty far.
That's a good way to kind of think of him. I agree with that. Yeah, he kind of gets about as far as Nada does every season. Obviously, Nada getting knocked out a bit earlier this season.
Yeah, but I mean, HongUn could join him.
Yeah,
July
he really
is really good. July. You know, he had his championship run. I mean, he didn't win, but he made it all the way up to the end, fought against MC. He's done pretty well, but I don't want to say he's in a slump right now, but he hasn't done as well as he historically has here recently.
I actually feel like very recently he's actually been improving a little bit.
I would agree with that,
watching him play, and I think he's gotten a little bit better recently. And
I would agree.
I think he's the favorite. I'm going to say it. I think he's the favorite.
I actually think he's the favorite as well here, yeah. But we'll see, man.
Yeah, let's take a look at these guys' stats.
HongUn is not interested in her.
HongUn, really? Can't even look at the camera even? She's like, HongUn, pay attention
Check out those little sideburns he's got going there, though. Is that normal for HongUn? Does he normally have those sideburns? I don't remember.
I don't know. I'm trying to like see him in the booth. Oh, but he's got his headset on, so I can't see his sideburn area.
Well, you can see his record here, losing a lot of games to Nesty.
That happens to a lot of people, actually.
Not surprising, really, yeah.
He did beat, let's see, trying to see where he's beaten any Zergs lately, and there's not, other than Nesty, there's not a Zerg on there. Yeah,
his most recent matches have not really been against Zergs. The most recent Zerg he played against, obviously, Nesty, losing to Nesty. So that's not very indicative of his Zerg win rate, but obviously 66.7% win rate versus Zerg is pretty high. Now, HongUn is known for his Blink Stalker play, and he's actually really known for all-ins. And to be honest, it's been working for him. He has won a lot of games with all-ins, and In Control said it on State of the Game once. He said, well, HongUn's going to Void Ray all-in one of these games, and the guy's going to know that he's going to be Void Ray all-in, and he's still going to lose. That's how HongUn got here, man.
Yeah, he's good. Here's another guy, though, that's actually really good about choosing when to go all-in, because he's a Zerg player. I mean, he sees that weakness, and he goes for it. So these players are kind of similar, I would say, in terms of style.
Yeah, July is very unpredictable, though. July can play a macro game with you if he wants to. HongUn probably won't. We haven't really seen HongUn play very many long games. He's done it a few times, but this match is so hard to really predict what's going to happen. And July sometimes does things like when he played against Genius recently, where he was just like, well, I'm just going to make a bunch of banelings and kill you, and it worked.
Yeah.
Sometimes he does things like that. You just don't know what to predict with July.
Yeah, and while that makes him exciting, it also makes him a little bit inconsistent, too, and you can see that from his win-loss record as well.
Yeah, his most recent 10 sets, he's less than 50% win ratio, 4 wins, 6 losses.
Yep.
Losing to some, players like Min and Sculp that aren't, top players, but are pretty good.
Yeah. Got a couple Protoss wins in there, but I don't know, this one could really go either way. Our first map is Terminus, so it's like they're going to give him like a huge macro map so they can't really do what they wanted to do on it. You guys are going to play a long game, and you're going to like it, but they could still all in, I guess. Looks like HongUn eliminated Crossfire, July eliminated Zelnaga Fortress.
Do you remember HongUn's style actually went really well on a map that we haven't seen in a while? Some of you guys may have forgotten, called Crevasse.
Oh, Crevasse, yeah, of course.
So HongUn really liked that map because he could get a free base, get that 2-base economy with like 3 gas. You wouldn't really even need a 4th gas. It's a high-yield gas, but either way, he would do a lot of timing attacks on that map. You can do some of these types of timing attacks on Terminus, but it's not as easy. But July has to be very careful if he wants to take the normal third. If HongUn does a timing attack, it's relatively vulnerable there. There's that rocks that can be destroyed. So I don't know, I keep harping on the fact that HongUn does timing attacks, but that's his style, and he's good at it. I'm not saying he's a bad player. In fact, I have arguments with Artosis all the time about whether HongUn is good or not. I'm like, well, man, he's been winning a lot. He's really good.
Top 32?
I would say, man, he's top 32. He's at the Code S. Little inside joke we've got here.
Yep. Let's just say there's been fireworks between this guy and Artosis.
Oh, yeah, man.
Times. It's entertaining. But speaking of entertaining, here we go, HongUn versus July at the GSL. Don't go anywhere. Wolf and I are already giggling and high-fiving because
down here, a player who's about to be 6-pulled by Jelizerg.
Yep.
There's no intro for him because we don't do intros when this happens.
It's just HongUn Prime Wii.
This is HongUn Prime. Now up here, Jelizerg 6-pulling on the largest map in the map pool, arguably. I mean, Daybreak's pretty large too, but I would say Terminus is still, like, cross-distance Terminus is still larger. And HongUn, if he decides to go Nexus first, may be in for some trouble.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it might take July a little bit of time to get to him, and that must be why they skipped the intro, because of the 6-pool.
Exactly.
I get it now. I'm hip to these things, and so yeah, July has to find his opponent first, but I don't know. Everyone's very quiet. The studio is actually really quiet.
Yeah, the studio is just silent, man.
Even the Korean commentators are really quiet right now.
This is a very scary moment for both players, and one player knows it, the other doesn't at this point. Now, HongUn can see this Overlord, though. Does he see it? Yeah, he sees the Overlord, so now he knows exactly where July is, and that's going to be really helpful for him. He's made a Forge right away here, and with that positioning of the pylon, he should be okay. He should be able to stop this. Is he going to scout immediately?
The thing is that you can't wall in from that side of the ramp because of the neutral supply depot.
That's true.
Yeah, so those Zerglings are going to get in the base no matter what. There's actually really not much HongUn can do about it right now. Did he see those Zerglings? I don't think he did.
I don't think he saw it, but he's going to know now.
He knows now, yeah. So is he going to be able to get enough buildings up in time?
Well, what can he do? Honestly, he's making the right choice, and he's not walling off. He's actually going to make a cannon in his main. He's going to say, well, goodbye, Forge. That doesn't matter. I don't care about the Forge. Now, July knows where HongUn is without scouting the left side because he saw where the probe was coming from with his Overlord. That's why he's not scouting over there. So, makes a gate immediately and also a cannon in the middle line. Now, July is going to want to run immediately beyond this. And what HongUn is going to want to do is put his probes around the cannon and use stop position so the Zerglings can't reach it.
Yeah, well, even if he... Alright, now it comes out in micro. Even if he focuses the cannon, the probes will be able to kill the Zerglings so quickly. So, HongUn should be okay here.
Yeah, and he absolutely will be. Nice trap.
Surround. Wow.
And as far as
Really
workers
nice.
lost go, he lost... How many workers?
He lost
just 2.
2 probes, Wolf. Wow.
Now, right now, worker count 11 drones to 18 probes. The gateway is up. Gas is going up for HongUn as well. He also, he's going to lose that pylon on the low ground, but that doesn't really matter. It's much, the things that he has gained here from holding this, much more important. Now, what HongUn should do from here, in my opinion, this might be about this, is go for a 4-gate and just end the game, because that would just absolutely end the game, even though it's a huge map. But people like to play safe in the GSL because July could do something crazy and hold it. Who knows? So he's going to take a second gas. He's going to play a longer game. He may go Stargate after this. Is another very common follow-up to holding off a 6-pool.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, he does have that second gas. So I think something tech-related would be a lot more likely than a 4-gate, unless it was just a ton of sentries in there.
Yeah, he's not going to be 4-gating at this point. I mean, he knows that warp gate research is going to be, it's not done. It's going to be a while before that's out. I think we're going to see a Stargate most likely. I'm very surprised, though, that he's actually making a sentry. If he, does a sentry expand, I'm just going to be so confused because there's, nothing he could have to worry about. But, he's trying to play super safe. He's being the Spoon Terran. He's being like...
That's right.
He's being like Thorzane's the Spoon Protoss here today.
Protoss.
I don't know if that joke got explained on air yet, but the Koreans were talking about Thorzane being the Spoon Terran because he kills his opponents so slowly, it's as if he was killing them with a spoon. That's what the Koreans call Thorzane.
Watching Thorzane win a game is like watching someone murder someone else with a spoon.
Yeah.
That's how they described it.
And he's just going to make 3 gates, sentries, and do basically a delayed sentry expand. And our game is kind of reset here.
July is really making a lot of lings, too. He's not droning up like a lot of Zergs would, but he's making lings like July Zerg would.
Yeah.
Because he is actually going to go and try to do a lot more damage now.
Basically, he's just going to make a ton of speedlings. And this is what HongUn knows. There's basically 2 options here for HongUn. If he makes a Nexus, he has to have these sentries because, well, I'm HongUn, and I know that July Zerg is going to either try to play a macro game and lose, or try to do an all-in and maybe win. If you're in this situation after you 6-pool, and you make as many lings as July did, it's almost impossible to catch up in a macro game, no matter what your opponent does. Now, HongUn has sentries here. He's going to be completely fine.
Look at that.
Warp gate research is done.
July hit a lot of his lings, and he might be able to get in there. Oh, nice surround on those sentries. And this could actually be pretty bad for HongUn.
Oh man, HongUn was not paying attention, and this is actually so absurd, man.
Well, you know what July did? He moved in with like 4 Zerglings, let HongUn see him, so HongUn was like, okay. And then July came in unexpectedly with all the other ones. July is so good at tricking people like that. We're seeing July Zerg play at his July Zergiest this game.
Yeah, that's very true. Pylon's going up here to wall off.
Yep.
I'm very disappointed in HongUn because if he had just been watching his sentries at that moment, things would have gone very differently. If he had seen this minimap,
yeah.
And if he had just paid attention, this would not have happened. And I gotta say, HongUn's probably disappointed in himself as I am in him. That's really a tongue twister, man. You saw my jaw drop open when I was like, well, there's no force fields going down.
I saw July only move in with a couple lings and show them, and I started to get really excited. I was like, oh man, this could be actually perfect.
Well,
and
HongUn isn't like, he's not really necessarily even behind at this point, but he's forced to play the way July Zerg wants him for a little while.
Now look at this, July again hiding a group of lings at the bottom of the base. He wants to pull those out of position so he can get another surround. Look at this, July Zerg is a genius. Wow.
This time it's not. It's
beautifully done.
I mean, there's not going to be much left this time
that is
for
it,
HongUn.
yeah.
He's losing all of his units. July is making drones at home.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to see July start to pick away at those buildings here now, but look at that. That was so great. I love watching July do stuff like this. I think he's the best player in StarCraft 2 at sort of baiting people into bad positions and doing things like that.
He's tricky.
Yeah.
So from here, HongUn is just going to make as many zealots as he can, try to break out, but with good speed and control from July, he's almost never going to be able to leave his base. Right now, the worker count, 39 drones to 32 pros because July has just been droning like a madman.
Yeah.
And it looks like finally HongUn has gotten these links out of his base. Now he should be able to hold this. I guarantee you won't be missing any force fields this time. 8 drones in production right now.
We'll see.
They're on the way.
Right away, July going after the rocks too. Getting that safe early Evo chamber that we see a lot of Zergs do these days. No reason not to get that Evo chamber early, especially in a situation like this. You know, it protects against air and GPs once you get the spore crawlers out.
Well, HongUn is behind now. His opponent has way more drones. Even though HongUn has an army, he has a huge rush distance to walk across if he wants to attack. July has plenty of time to be prepared. He's making a Roach Warren right now, 8 more drones. He's going to be at 58 drones here to 36 probes. It's a huge lead. That's more than 20 drones ahead.
And I feel like July is almost going into that I sense weakness mode right now, you know, where he's going to just do what it takes to end the game in the near future here.
Now,
he's getting his lair, though, so.
What HongUn can do is try to do a Blink Stalker timing attack while July takes his third. This may end up being what he does. He's got a Twilight Council on the way. He's adding more gates. He's gone up to now 6 gates. And that could work. And July is taking his third base right now, but July is so smart about these timings. He knows it's cross map. He's got Burrow on the way. He's already got Roach Speed and +1 missile attacks and a Hydro Stat. So I don't think that's going to work.
I guess I have to take back what I said earlier, you know, where I thought July was going into that, you know, July Zerg all-in mode. Because he really has kind of changed lately. That's funny, a changeling kind of sitting right next to the cannon. Oh.
July Zerg has changed lately, and so is that changeling into a zealot.
And then into a pile of goo. But no, July's changed lately in that he's been playing those longer macro games now. He hasn't gone all in quite as often or as much as he has in kind of the earlier days of StarCraft 2. So, you know, he's become a better, well-rounded player too in that regard, I think.
Definitely so. Right now, 7 roaches in production. The Overlord speed being researched, Burrow is done. And July looking so scary. He's got this massive, powerful army. And even though Blink is about to finish, and even though HongUn's moving out with somewhat of a scary force, his opponent's going to have better upgrades. He's going to have Burrow. Is there any observers out? The answer is no.
Nope.
No, there's
observers.
not.
Sorry, Wolf. I'm sorry there's no observers out, man.
All this game comes down to, guys,
is
like some missed force fields. Man, that's it. July was like, well, I'm going to lose no matter what, so I'm going to do this. And if he doesn't force field, then I win. And that's what he did. And look at this little trap that has been set up here by July.
Yeah, July again, you know, using those little tricks that we see him use.
This is going to mean that no force fields are really going to be able to be used here.
Wow, look at that. And there he goes. No time for force fields. Actually, not as good as it could have been for July Zerg, but he will pick off a lot of those sentries, and that's really what he wants to do with this.
Roach is at the back as well doing damage here, and he can just burrow whenever he wants because there's no observer. Stalker's blinking back, but it leaves the rest of these Stalkers kind of caught and dry. Even the Zealot's being taken out. The Pylon going to fall here. July now having twice the supply of HongUn.
Yeah, he might just decide to go Roach Ling all in from this point. Just try to win here.
Good blink Stalker micro from HongUn. July does have Roach speed though, so he can't be too liberally can't liberally blink like you would like to.
Yeah.
Has to blink like a conservative. Get away from those roaches.
Yeah, just a ton of roaches right now from July.
And July's just going to keep streaming across the map. This is really what he's been known to do, is just get 3 bases and then stream out the roaches.
He's going to make a Nidus network at the same time. This is new.
Forward movement done. Yep.
And I think HongUn just might be dead. Well,
yeah, I mean, he can't blink back any further from here.
Nope.
Those Stalkers like, can I blink off the platform?
Is scrap station nearby? I don't think so.
No, it's not, man.
Yeah, even if he holds this off, because he is microing very, very well. I mean, HongUn's blink stalker micro is some of the best there is, but it's just too much right now. It's too much, Wolf.
Too much.
And
Stalkers start to fall. More roaches. The Nidus worm being used like a forward pylon at the front of the base.
Network.
Yeah, and he's just going to reinforce immediately with that Nidus worm.
Yep.
No cannon, no observer. GG.
There it is. And July Zerg, Startail July taking game 1. And wow. Look at that. That guy's got a big brain in that head.
Yeah, he does.
A big tactical brain, I would say. He's very good, as we saw.
He took the situation that he was in and said, well, this probably won't work, but it's the only way that I can win this game. And he went for it, and HongUn didn't do it. If HongUn had just stayed in his base and made 4 gateways and attacked July, that would have been just fine.
Yep.
But unfortunately for HongUn, that's not what he decided to do. He decided to try to play a safe game, and July said, no, he's the god of war.
There are no safe games with July Zerg in him.
Don't make me cry. It may be August, but it feels like July.
Oh, I like that one. That one's good.
I really like that one too.
That one's cool.
Some fans from Vancouver over there.
That's right. So, I don't know, July really... I'm just going to go on and on about July's tactics in battle. You know, I mean, he's just really good at doing all those tricky little things that Zergs need to do. You don't see Zergs exploiting that kind of thing as much as you would think you would, you know?
Yeah, well, it was really tricky. You only show a few lings, and HongUn's like, all right, well, now I can chrono boost my forge at this moment, or whatever. I mean, you didn't chrono boost his forge. He's like, well, I guess I can go back into my base and make something. And then July's like, no, you can't. And he runs all of his lings forward. And in most cases, relying on a strategy like this, like when Terrans would just stim and cross their fingers and run up the ramp, it's normally bad, okay?
Right.
But in this case, it was the only way July could win. He said, well, I'm going to try to be sneaky. I'm going to do everything I can to be sneaky. And then if this works, I'll be able to catch up. And it worked. And
Took
he
a
caught
situation,
up.
made the best of it. Well, it's kind of like Zergs have like this Batman utility belt of tricks, and a lot of people are only using the Batarang, but July's got the whole arsenal out today. Our second map is Belshire Beach, a map a lot of Zergs have been really enjoying.
HongUn wants to adjust his air conditioner.
It's important to be comfortable while
It's getting hot in there, man. July Zerg's smacking him down after 6 pooling. I mean, you can see HongUn sweating right now.
Yeah, I'd be sweating too if I had to play against July. I was going to say something about the god of war, you know, July, which is the planet Mars, and there was some heat with that. But Mars is actually farther away from the sun than Earth, so it'd actually be colder there. Maybe he was turning up the heat. July is causing a chill to go through his bones.
That's what's happening.
I think that's what it is. We figured it out.
All right, guys. Will July close it out 2-0, or will HongUn bring it back to tie up the series? Let's find out on Belshire Beach. I am Wolf, and with me is Doa. This is the GSL August.